Well, hello, everybody. Oh, lighting is okay. Oh, that's a little better. Okay, let me scoot over this way. Hello, this is AKA Heather Joy, and you guys are just boarded the lifeboat. It's good to see you all. And you know what? I don't know how to turn notifications off on this computer, so you're going to be hearing that awful noise, and I apologize. Let's see. What was I? Huh. Anyway, okay, sorry about that. Being silly here. All right. Um, Here on the lifeboat, we have a couple of rules, and I just want to run through those really quickly. The first rule is no politics, please. Politics can really upset people, and there are appropriate times to be discussing that, but in the comment section and the live chat, please just don't do that. The second rule is no religion. What I mean by that is this isn't a religious channel. It's fine to say things like, offering to pray for another member of the crew, saying things like, I couldn't have found sobriety without my faith, which I couldn't have personally. That's fine. But, please don't get into the area where you are telling someone else that your God is better than theirs or anything like that. Okay. The third rule is no cursing. Please refrain from cursing in the chat and the comment section. Tommy always says, if you can't control your mouth, then you can't control your life. And I agree with him on that one. Anyway, the fourth one is basically no trolls. You know, this is a channel where addicts and loved ones of addicts come for help, and things that are discussed in the chat are often very sensitive, and there's just absolutely no room for trolls for being mean at all. And if you're caught being mean, you're going to get banned permanently. So please just don't do that. And then I have a few requests, and that's what I was going to do. Pull up the comment section. Anyway, okay. I have a few requests. The first one is that you exit out of the live chat right now and hit that like button for me, and then come back into the chat. Also, please share these videos, and if you haven't subscribed, why not? Come on. We really do want to, help the algorithm help us. And the best way to do that is liking, sharing, and subscribing. Oh, and come back after the show and leave a comment. That would be awesome too. But we really do want to reach out and help as many people as we can. So, yeah. Let me see who we've got here. Chili Phil, Trish, Charlie, Jason P. Let's see, Virginia, full of hope. Chili Phil, did I already say that? Anyway, Leisure, Mark, John. Let's see. Yeah, Trish. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Trish and Cindy is here. Sharon Chandler. Hi. Let's see. Dennis N. and John. And Charles McClellan and Lemmy. Brandon Calloway. How you doing, Brandon? What day is this for you now? I trying to remember. Man, you're doing well though. I'm so proud of you. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. Did I say full of hope? I hope I did, Paula. Anyway. Oh, Todd G. Hello. And boy, we got a lot of chat. Random Toaster, welcome tonight. I'm glad to see you here. Rick. And oh yes, Old Lady Snoop. If you are here, and you feel like it, I would love to have you jump on. Let me put the I already pinned the, let me put those up. Yeah, I pinned the link at the top of the chat. If any of you, if you need help and you need to talk, you're welcome to jump up. That will always take priority if someone is in need of help. But if Lady Snoop, if you feel like you're up to it and you want to, jump on with me. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. But since you are familiar with tapping, I'm not. It would be awesome to have a second person here to present this. Anyway, get this. Oh, Miss B is here now. Margaret Walter. That's a name I haven't seen before. Welcome. And I saw, let's see. Oh, Zenwen is here. Goosebump. Okay. And Patrick. Well, welcome, everybody. Okay. Is this thing called EFT, or oh goodness, emotional freedom technique, or it's also known as tapping. This is something completely new to me. I've known about it, and I've known basically what it is for a very long time, but I've never really looked into it. And after looking at it, oh hey Leisure, good to see you. If I didn't greet you before now. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself today after looking into this and finding out all of the things that it can do and how powerful it can be. I'm kicking myself. This is a wonderful way of getting rid of trapped emotions, and that's a big thing for me, because with me, trapped emotions are what is behind all of my pain, my fibromyalgia. And so honestly, I've been kicking myself all day since I've been looking into this. Anyway, before I jump into that and explain, oh hey Scooby, before I jump into that, I need to explain first about meridians. In traditional Chinese medicine, um, just like you have chakras, you have meridians throughout your body. Let me explain what those are a little bit. And I wrote down the definition because this is all very new to me. Um, Meridians, they are like strings connecting acupuncture or acupressure points, uh, which are considered as passageways through which energy flows throughout the body. Okay, um, there are 12 principal. I apologize, guys. This is a new computer, and I'm still trying to work out how to use everything, and I haven't figured out how to turn the notification sound off yet. So I am sorry, guys. But okay, we have 12 principal meridians in our body, and these connect to each organ system, and they extend, to, let's see, what did I write down here? They extend to an extremity and collaterals. Now, what do I mean by collaterals? Collaterals are kind of like accessory parts or subordinate parts, like a side branch. I know how to explain this one. A collateral would be, how you have your aortic artery. Is that the one I wanted to? Let me look at my. Good grief! I apologize, guys. It is, if you get a blocked artery, like in your heart, if your aorta is blocked, you have all of these accessory vessels right next to it that can open up and get the blood flowing through them and kind of bypass it, until you can get the blockage removed. That would be kind of an example of that. Anyway, okay, meridians. I was reading it. They compare them in traditional Chinese medicine. They are compared to rivers, and they carry a flow of energy, or they carry your chi, your energy, and it is. Let's see. It's compared to a river that carries the flow of water to a different destination in a specific direction. That's what meridians are. They are, there are specific pathways throughout the body. They follow your circulatory system. It follows that. Um, but it's a flow of energy. And it's really interesting. There was one day when I was in with my chiropractor, and he has a wonderful touch, and he can sense so many things through his hands. I mean, this guy is a healer, and I'll never forget the first time he did it. And I don't remember exactly where he had his hands on me, if it was on my head or my shoulder. I don't even remember, but he could feel my meridians, and he could feel the flow. You know how when your heart pumps your blood through your circulatory system, it's got a pulse, and the chi, the energy in our bodies that flows, it flows in a similar manner. And anyway, he could tell that there were some blockages in some of my meridians, and things weren't flowing properly. And it was the funkiest thing to feel him. Just somehow he has a touch for it, and he was able to reset things and unblock things so that everything, as far as my energy, my chi, was flowing properly. And it felt amazing when he unblocked it and did that. It was the coolest thing. But that's what you need to understand about meridians first before I get into that. And I'm just looking here through my notes. The meridians work by distributing energy and nutrients and blood across the body to just, in just about the same way that your circulatory system moves your blood throughout your body. And they function as a network. It's like a highway system. It can be mapped throughout your entire body. And like I said, it's similar to the circulatory system that we have in Western medicine. But the thing with this is meridians are non-physical. They are pure energy. Now, meridians are areas in your body where you can open them up, remove trapped emotions that are going to block the flow of your chi. Um, let's see, what else have I got here? Yeah, they are a little different than your chakras, but they are non-physical. This is all just energy. And I can show you, I'm going to share my screen for a minute and show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let's see. I want to share that one first. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm hoping, let me see if this is working. I hate this delay. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. I wish I could make that a little bit. Okay, I know there's a way to make this bigger. Hang on, guys. I don't know. I'm still new at this. I apologize, guys. Okay, but this shows the body meridians. You can see how there are, specific pathways that are mapped out throughout the body, through the front and the back. But there are 12 major meridians, and I wanted to show you this here. I'm hoping this is going to work. Okay, you got the lung meridian, and it says here that the lung meridian controls how energy is consumed and impacts your respiratory system. Then you have the large intestine meridian that regulates processing and extraction of water from waste. Your stomach meridian regulates the extraction of nutrients from your food. It also distributes the nutrients, to your intestines and your spleen, and it's just your overall digestion of food. Your heart meridian regulates the circulation to the blood in all your organs. Come here, kitty. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're being a pest. Come here. If I don't pet him, pick him up, he's not going to be happy. There we go. Okay, the heart meridian. Okay, I went through that one. We've got the small intestine meridian, responsible for digestion, water absorption, nutrient absorption, and bowel functions. We've got the bladder meridian, and that regulates the removal of toxins from the body. This is energy, that's doing this. The kidney meridian regulates your reproductive system, your testosterone levels, produces bone marrow and blood. Your pericardium meridian, this is a special one. The pericardium meridian, okay, pericardium, cardium, refers to the heart, and peri is, something that, surrounding. So this regulates, your energy or your chi that surrounds the heart, and it protects the heart, and it ensures the proper function and emotional balance. I thought that one was really cool. There's a triple warmer meridian. I'd forgotten all about this one. I have worked with that one before. But the triple warmer meridian regulates your metabolism of your body, and it promotes general wellness. Your gallbladder meridian regulates the removal and storage of toxins that are produced in your liver. And then there's your liver meridian. And this one regulates your female productive system, the circulation of energy, and it maintains the flexibility of the ligaments and the tendons. And you know, you can open up or have an effect on these meridians, through acupoints, areas where you would do acupressure, acupuncture, that kind of thing. Let me exit out of this now. Let's see. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay. I'm glad that worked. Okay. Sit still, buddy. Oh, he's clawing my leg. Ow. Let's see. Hey, what are you doing? Sorry, guys. I should just put him outside. He's being very distracting. Okay. So, this energy freedom technique, let me tell you a little bit about it now. Let's see. I just noticed we had Ajot. I'm glad you're here, Ajot. And Chili Phil. Nice, guys. Anyway. Okay, the EFT treatment. Okay, this is a method. It's a mind body method of tapping. Those acupoints. Basically the meridians. From in traditional Chinese medicine, and they're on the hands, the face, the body, and your fingertips. You use your fingertips to tap on these meridians while you're focusing on a particular issue or a feeling that, if you've got something you want to resolve. And this method is really good at reducing stress and anxiety. It can improve performance, whether it's in work performance or, athletic performance in sports, things like that. It can lessen cravings, guys. Food and other things. It can lessen cravings. Do you know how, that's another thing I'm kicking myself for. Why did I not check this out before? When you are in your early sobriety, when you're fighting those cravings, this can be a way of helping to deal with that. And I just saw Fee is here. Hi, Fee. I haven't seen you in a while here in chat. I'm so glad you're here. And M. Hunt. Hey, guys. Okay, let's see. Anyway, where was I? Okay, yeah, I just wrote in my notes here. This is potentially very helpful for addicts. When we are going through cravings, of course we've got our anxiety is up as well. So this can be really, really helpful. There are two different ways of doing this. There's a way that there's a clinical setting, and then there's just a way that you can use this on your own, for everyday things, everyday stresses, things like that. But if you have got significant PTSD, significant trauma that you have been through, it's very wise to do this tapping method with a clinician, somebody who is trained and certified in this. Because once what they do, first of all, if you go to a clinician, is they're going to ask what is it that you are wanting to take care of. What is your issue? If it's something has given you PTSD, or something extremely traumatic, they're going to ask you to recall that and to recall it in detail. And that can be very overwhelming. It can be very stressful. And, you may not be ready for that. And instead of finding help, you might be completely overwhelmed. So everything I was reading today said, to do this on your own is really good for everyday things. And it could be anything. I'll give you some examples in a minute, but they were, everywhere I read it kept saying that it's really, really important, that if you have some significant PTSD or some significant trauma, you need to do this with somebody who is trained, because they know how to help you work through it. You can use this for, PTSD. It helps relieve PTSD symptoms, phobias, other mental health issues, depression, anxiety, um, what is obsessive compulsive disorder, things like that. This can benefit all of those things. Now, this is something that doesn't work for everybody. And I don't know yet. I haven't even had a chance to really try it out yet. I don't know if it's something that can help me, but I know that for, like I said, not every form of therapy is going to work for everybody, so that's why I want to be presenting, all these different forms and give you lots of options, and hopefully you can find something that will help you when you need to deal with anxiety or depression, or when you're trying to overcome an addiction and you're dealing with cravings. This can be very, very beneficial. And I was looking at some of the research. I thought, I wanted to know how well can this actually help people. And so I was digging up the research that's been done on this. And I'll tell you what I found, a little bit of what I found. Um, Research shows that, in a clinical setting, when you're using this EFT therapy, um, this is an evidence-based practice for anxiety, depression, phobias, PTSD, etc. Now, and I've kind of explained, the clinical, how clinical EFT differs from, just doing it on your own. And it follows a specific procedure, and in a clinical setting, it's has a very specific procedure that they run through, and it does need to be led with a healthcare professional, that has been certified in this method. But the benefits are very interesting. This is what I'm getting to as far as the research. Um, what it shows so far, as far as the benefits, the first thing it can do is it can relieve general stress and anxiety. Doing this method has a quieting effect on your amygdala. Your amygdala is really your stress control center in your brain, and can really calm that down, can quiet things and help you feel calmer, and more able, it'll enable you to think more clearly. And that's really helpful when you are in, a fight flight mode. It's really, if this can help you calm things down so that you can think more clearly, there's a lot less chance that you're going to go out and use again and relapse. I think this could be a very, very powerful tool if it works for you. And there was a 2020 study that I was looking at, and basically what it showed is that it reduces your cortisol levels. That's huge. When you are under stress, your body releases cortisol. Now, cortisol is one of the big stress hormones in your body, and it helps, when it is released, it helps your body release glucose into the blood, and it helps your brain to take up that glucose. Your brain uses more energy than any other part of your body, and it really gets you prepared for a fight or flight situation. And it's helpful for that, but to have elevated cortisol levels all the time is not good. Because it also releases chemicals. It makes them available, the chemicals that uh, are used for healing. When you are injured, you have inflammation that comes in, and it begins the healing process. So it makes those chemicals that are used for healing, makes them readily available. But when you don't need them, you're just getting excess inflammation, which causes a lot of autoimmune disorders. So that's huge. That there was a study that showed, that it lowers cortisol levels. I thought that was quite significant in my eyes. And another thing, and this was cool, that it can do is it may for some people aid in weight loss. And what it was showing to do in the research I was looking on here, it reduces food cravings, and it can also reduce other cravings. But as far as the weight loss, it can reduce the food cravings, and research suggests that it actually makes changes when you use this method. It makes changes in the part of your brain that trigger cravings. So it can help mitigate that. And they were able to figure this out actually with brain scans. That there are changes in that part of your brain that activates cravings, um, and it can help change, you know, make chemical and structural changes in your brain after about 4 weeks of using this EFT tapping method. There was another study. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I remember this one. There were 76 dieters that participated in this study, and they were practicing this tapping method. And what they found was that the people that did this, they lost an average of about a pound a week in a 6 week. What they did was a 6 week online tutorial to use this method, and they lost about a pound a week. And they continued to lose after the study was over, and it showed that the following year they were able to maintain that weight loss. So that's huge for people that struggle with weight loss, if this method works for you. So that's a nice little bonus there. Another big one that the studies show were that it will help soothe depression, pain, and again cravings. And this case is talking about cravings for alcohol, drugs, things like that, not just food. And there was this study in 2016, and what they did, it was a meta-analysis of 20 different studies. And what it showed is that it is highly effective in reducing the signs and symptoms of depression, in the people that participated in these studies. And they were able to maintain that over time as well, just like the weight loss. They were able to maintain, a reduction of the symptoms of depression. That's huge. All of you that deal with depression, and I think everybody's experienced depression at least once in their life. Um, let's see, there was another study. It was from 2019, and there were 203 people that were in this study, and it was a 4-day clinical, um, where 203 people came in over 4 days, and they did it, um, this tapping method, with a clinician, somebody who was trained to do that. They did it in a clinical setting, and they did it for 4 days. It was like a 4-day workshop for this. And what they found was that it, um, reduced your resting heart rate, it reduced your blood pressure, and it reduced cortisol levels. So, that's definitely going to make you feel less anxious. And very often anxiety is, just goes hand in hand with depression. So that's really huge. And it also, they saw that it improved, it improved the signs and symptoms of anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic pain, cravings, and it gave um, increase, a significant increase in overall happiness in just that 4-day workshop. I thought that was really cool. Let's see. Um, okay, another thing that they have discovered through research was that it can help treat PTSD symptoms and trauma when it's used in a clinical setting. And it is effective for some people. They are saying it isn't effective for everybody. And let's see, what did I write here? Okay, what did I write here? No significant change. what was okay, I remember now. That sorry guys. There were 58 veterans that were in a study, and they had there's a way that they score PTSD and how severe it is. And they took 58 veterans who had a PTSD score of 50 or higher, which is significant there. And what they found was that I don't remember how long the study was, but at the end of this, what they found was that the PTS scores in these 58 veterans dropped from an average of 65 to an average of 34. And that's some significant improvement. All of you who suffer from PTSD know that can be huge. And there were a bunch of other studies that I saw that said basically the same thing. Now I have already addressed the risks, but I'm just going to repeat. The studies show that there are very few adverse side effects when this is used properly. So what I mean by that is, you use this method on your own for just day to day issues that you might be having. But if you have significant PTSD, significant trauma that you have been through, and you're still really struggling with it, if people in that situation did it on their own, it was just way too overwhelming. There are people that will take, which is something I would do it. I would disregard. I'm an idiot. I have to learn everything the hard way. And if I had done this when I had a lot of significant PTSD symptoms, I would have done the tutorial and tried to do it on myself and probably ended up in a mess. That's just me. I learned the hard way. I learned through experience. I very there's very often times that there. What am I trying to say? There are very few times that I actually listen to advice and just follow it. I'm an idiot. I am learning. I am getting better, but yeah. Anyway, it was just saying that there can be, when you are asked to recall something that is that distressing, you can have what they call emotional flooding. You're just overwhelmed with all those emotions again, and you're actually re-traumatized if you don't have someone there to guide you through it and to help you with that. So let's see. Okay. Okay. And I didn't have time to look at all of these, but I found there are a couple of apps that you can put on your phone. And I think there's always like an in-app purchase. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet to find out how much it costs for this one, but it's called the Tapping Solution is one of the apps. And there's also something called the EFT Universe that you can find online. And they have a tutorial that I just read about it, that is really, really good. And it's called What is EFT Tapping? And that's supposed to be a really good one to give you a better idea of how to do this. It's a tutorial. And I didn't have time to put those in in the the description box. So I will list those. And I think I came across a few others just before I went on. So I'm going to put all of those on the community post so that you guys will have those if you want to look deeper into this. Let's see. And okay. What am I written here? Let's see. Okay. This is something, just doing this on your own it can be really helpful. If you have a presentation, say you at work, you have to give a presentation or you have to go to a meeting and you're anticipating it and you're getting nervous about it. Apparently this is a way that you can calm yourself down, using this method. You can use this if you're stressed out. You've just had an argument with your spouse and you're stressed out. This is a way to open those meridians and release that frustration, release that energy. let's see. And also, if you want to cultivate your focus, whether it is something you're working on, with a job or an art project, or you're a writer, you know, anything like that where you need focus. If you are an athlete and you are working on something specific, this isn't a way of, really concentrating your focus. And so, those are way using it that way on your own. Those are all things you can do. What did Mr. Ray Ray say? Emotional freedom, honey badger. Oh, honey badgers, those are interesting creatures, aren't they? Anyway, let's see. Where was I? Okay. Now, if you go in to see a clinician for this, your first session, something that they might ask you to do, if you have something significant, like I wish that when I was a kid and I had been through that awful accident that I had been through, I think it would have been very helpful if someone could have sat down with me and helped me learn how to use this process to overcome all of the PTSD symptoms that I had for years and years and years. I think it would have been very helpful. But someone could have come in and sat down with me, and I would have wanted to work through all of the PTSD symptoms that I was having. The flashbacks and the nightmares and the constant anxiety and just things like that. That would be something that I could take to a clinician to work on. So they would want you to. They would, if I was to go into an office with someone who does this kind of thing, they would ask me to focus on whatever was troubling me the most. And I could have, sat down and recalled everything that I could remember from that accident. And, years ago, I could not even think about it, let alone talk about it. But so this would be a good way, to open that up and start to get into that. But while you are describing that issue, they ask you to do it in detail, and they want you to try to recall everything that you can remember. Not what were you thinking, what were you feeling, what did you taste, what did you smell. I mean, they want you to bring up all of the details. And as you're going through that, you are tapping through these different acupoints. And I haven't actually had a chance to do this yet, but what I'm understanding is, when you're working through that and you're tapping, and I'll explain a little bit better about this, but they're saying that you might notice after you start this tapping procedure, that your thoughts might become more positive. You might start to feel, you might be able to relax and start to feel a little better. And let's see. Anyway, if you go to a clinician for this, they're first going to ask you to describe in detail, what the thing that is troubling you. And then the second thing they'll do is they're going to pair that memory with a very neutral statement. And then as you share the statement, you are tapping through all these specific acupoints. And let me give you an example here. In fact, you know what? I think I put a script up here. Let me share my screen again here. Let's see. Share the screen, and I want, let's see, which one did I want? Was it this one? Okay, yes, I think that's, okay, yeah, let me show that one first. These are the different tapping points. You always start first with that karate chop area on your hand. And let me see here. Okay. So if you, this is basically a script right here. Okay, yesterday I could have really used this. There's just a heck of a lot going on in my life right now, and I was completely overwhelmed last night. So I could have used this. So what I would have done is I could have said this. even though I am extremely overwhelmed right now, I let's see. I'm sorry. I wrote this down so quickly. I'm having a hard time reading my notes. Okay. What I could have said last night to myself is, even though I am terribly overwhelmed at the moment, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, while I am saying that, I am hitting with two fingers. I am tapping on that karate chop point that you can see there on the hand. I'm tapping on that. Okay, now um, once I I tap that, I believe. Well, I've seen several different suggestions, but I have said I've read that usually the thing I've read the most is that you do it, you tap it like maybe 7 times while you are saying that, and and you repeat it. Actually, you can repeat it a couple of times, and when you start to feel a little bit of an energy shift, a little bit of a change, that's when you jump to the next phase. And from there, you start with your eyebrows. Okay, you start tapping here, and but at this point you are basically saying the same statement again, but just a little shorter. So maybe I would say something like, while I'm tapping my, this eyebrow area, I am saying, I'm overwhelmed, but I can get through this, or something like that, something shorter, something positive. But you say that, you repeat that while you're tapping your eyebrow, and you do that about 7 times right there. And then you move, let's see, the next position, okay, is the side of the eye. You can see that right there. You tap right there, and you make that same statement again while you are tapping. Next, you go underneath the eye, do the same thing. You repeat that statement, and you're tapping under your eye. The next place that you will be tapping and repeating the statement is the philtrum, this area, right under your nose, that philtrum. What is it? There's another term for it. I can't remember. Angel something, but anyway, that's where you will tap. From there, you move kind of on your chin, under your lips. Not down here, but more right here, kind of under your lips, kind of mid chin. Same thing right there. Let's see. Then there's this area right here under your collarbone where you can see that, but you'll be tapping on that area. This is a spot, like when I was a nurse, when people um, if I found someone had fainted or they were incoherent or something, I would take my knuckles. This is really mean, but you take your knuckles and you just rub in that spot right there. You rub deeply, and it will bring people around. It will bring a response because it's painful. So that's why it says sore spot, just under your collarbone. But that's where you'll tap next. And then the last place is under your arm. And for women, it would be about the area where your bra strap, where your bra is right there underneath. That's where you want to tap under your arm. But you are going through, you are just repeating that statement as you are going through these different points. And you do have to follow the specific sites, from the top of your head, to the side of your eye. I missed the eyebrow. Okay, the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the eye, your philtrum right here under your lip, and then under your lip here on your chin, um, then that spot on your under your collarbone, and then under your arm, and then the top of your head. I guess that, yeah, that's right. The top of the head is where you end, is the last point. But it's a really simple thing, but it is supposed to be very, for people that this works for, it's very, very powerful. I want to show you. Let's see if that will pull that. Oh, not that one. Hang on. Not that one. That one. There we go. I'm going to be putting these, like I said, on the community tab so that they're there for everybody. But this is I love it. There was a British girl that I listened to for a while today she's a clinician, and she was talking about this, and she called it the EFT recipe, and that's what this one says too. I just thought that was funny, but it basically is kind of a recipe. But it has everything here. The setup. You repeat that Everybody that I have seen and every resource I found, things were just a little bit different, but in general, it's the same. That the places where you tap and the order in which you tap them was the same, but the script's always a little bit different. But you can see here, the setup: repeat the affirmation 3 times, even though I have this. And fill in the blank, whatever it is you are trying to deal with. I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and that's why you're tapping on the karate chop area. And then, it talks about the reminder phrase. And, it says here it's simply a word or a short phrase that describes the problem. And you repeat out loud each time as you tap the points in the sequence. And, that's when you move through the 7 points. And it's got this one is different now. Huh. I guess they are. That one's interesting. The last one I looked at, you end on the top of your head. This one starts on the top of your head. But you know what? I'm sure that they're both ways are going to work, because what you're doing is you're opening up that meridian by tapping, and you're able, whichever one you're touching, you're able to open that up so that you can release any of these emotions that might get trapped. And trapped emotions in your body is a very real thing. It really is. I have experienced it many times, and my husband's experienced it. When you can get rid of trapped emotions, it makes a huge difference. And um, I know when I have, let me exit out of this now. Let's see. Hello, where did it go? That's not what I want. Okay, am I back yet? There we go. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Okay, yes, when I go to my foot zoner, she is always able to help find trapped emotions in different parts of my body and help me release them. And the thing that I've noticed is that the sometimes later on in that day, but usually the following day, I will feel really out of sorts for just a little while, because your body, your mind, your spirit, everything has to make an adjustment now that you have rid yourself of that emotion wherever it is. So I am thinking, that if it does that with foot zoning and releasing trapped emotions, there's a very good chance you could experience that same thing while you're doing it in this method. But I think it's a wonderful thing, because if this can work for you, this can help you deal with cravings, with anxiety, with anything, even just getting yourself better focus, better concentration at work, or an important project that you've got. And Lemmy says, like, karate chop my head. Sure, if you want to. Anyway, I think this could be a very, very powerful, useful tool. And so like I said, I'm going to put several things in the community post. So please look for those if you want to know more about this. I'll put the different websites that I have found, and the apps, and the basic recipe. I will put that up as well. I want you guys to have access to those if you are interested. And I would really encourage anybody, all of you guys, to at least give this a try, because the more tools you have in your toolbox, when you have an emergency and something happens and you start to have cravings, or you start to think about relapsing, this is another tool you might have in your bag to deal with those things. And so I think this can be really helpful. And like I said, anything that I come across that I think might be helpful to anybody here, I'm going to present it. And the next one that I really want to talk about, and I'm going to have my sister actually come on with me, but there's the eye directed movement therapy. She has experienced that, and I haven't, and I'd like to. I'm actually going to ask my sister who she went to for the eye directed movement therapy, because if you are ready for it, they just direct your eyes in different ways, and it my sister said it was just incredible because all of a sudden you start to see how the way that you're thinking is just totally backwards. You can start to see, where your logic has some fallacies and where you're just not thinking correctly, and it can really help fix things like that. And I'm fascinated with it. And so yeah, my sister agreed to come on with me. I just haven't heard back from her yet. Um, I need to do it before she's getting her first grandbaby here in the next little while, and I need to get her on here before that happens. But anyway, like I said, anything that I think might be beneficial, I want to present to you guys. I want you to have plenty of options to help yourself work through, the reasons behind your addiction. Because if you can take care of that, there's really no need for the addiction anymore. But if this is something that can help mitigate cravings too, that's huge. That's so I'm going to be trying this on myself. I really don't have anything else. Jennifer, I miss Blue Kool-Aid. I do too. I miss him too. Mark, wherever you are, Mark, we miss you. And yeah, and we're happy that this Mark's here too, though. Have to say, I'm happy you're all here, you guys. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me see who else popped in. We've got Jennifer and John Doe. James, did I see you earlier, Chili Phil? I don't remember, but I see Jason P and Mark, and I just don't want to, if I missed anybody, Mr. Ray Ray. Oh, Ian DeBow. That is, no, I haven't had a real Thai massage. Ooh, that might be good. I understand that in traditional Chinese medicine, they can do the meridian massage that can really help to get rid of trapped emotions and open clogged up meridians and just get your chi flowing properly again. I'd kind of like to experience something like that. Anyway, let's see, Mr. Ray Ray Anik. Let's see. Who else popped in here? Patrick. Anyway, welcome, Ian. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I hope you feel welcome. This is, I guess, is an amazing boat. It really is, and it's not Tommy or me. We're just here to present things. It's you guys that in chat, that are doing all the heavy lifting. Honestly, you guys are there to support each other, and that's where a lot of magic happens, in my opinion. In Virginia, it looks like Zenwin left. Anyway, if I have missed anybody, I apologize, but I am so tickled to see everybody here. Was Leisure? Did I see Leisure here earlier? And Miss Dragon, I missed you. Darn it! I don't want to miss you. I can't. Anyway, if I did miss you, I apologize. But thank you, everybody, for coming here. This is awesome. That we've got all these new subscribers and just more people that can support one another. This is an awesome boat, and I just want you guys to know I am praying for every one of you. I pray for every one of you multiple times a day, and I pray that those who need the help that we offer here will come here too. But I want you guys to know that, I know addiction recovery is not an easy thing, and sometimes maintaining sobriety is not an easy thing. But oh, hey, Alf. There's Alf. Hey, Alf. Anyway, if I can do this, and I've had sobriety now for 15 years. If I can do this, anybody can do this. And I want to reassure you, you do have the strength inside to do this. You really do. You got this. Don't give up on yourself. Okay? Life is so much better when you're sober. Seriously. I know it's not easy at first, but it gets better. I promise you. I love you guys. You have a great night, and I will see you most likely again tomorrow sometime.